Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, how are you doing? It's Alexander Hilly123 here, and it's time for a new video. And as you can see from the title, it's time for a new pickups video today. And I'm not best pleased, to be honest with you, because I've just hit record on my webcam, and for some unknown reason, it isn't recording in 720p, which is my usual default resolution. I never go 1080p, can't be arsed with that, there's no point. But now, currently this is in 480, I think it is, so it's not going to be in high definition. Obviously no one really wants to see my mug in 720p, but that's not the point. The point is, I want it to be in HD, even though it's always HD, but at the lowest quality of HD, if you know what I mean. But for some reason, when I click record, the button just stays green and doesn't go red. When I knock it down to 480 or 320, it's red and it's recording like it is now, but it's not doing it in HD. Why? What's changed? This is why I fucking hate computers at times. I've not done anything with the Logitech software. I checked for an update just now as it happened, and no update. And you know what there has been though? Windows 10 updates. Remember when the updates used to be about helping the system out and stuff like that, and protecting against viruses and the definitions as they called them, whatever. But now, no, there's more things being tweaked in the background to fuck your system up. It's absolutely ridiculous. Now, just click record, 720p, the icon stays green. This is on the Logitech webcam software, and it's the Logitech the C920 or something. It's probably the most common webcam for people who just want to make videos like this, or, you know, on Skype or whatever the alternative to Skype is these days, what the kiddies are on. But, no, something's gone wrong, something's happening. And at the moment I can't record in HD, and it'll only be the next Windows 10 update, because I don't think it's the software, but something's happened, and then it's like, why has this happened and how do you fix it? Because Googling it comes up with no results whatsoever that are helpful. Fucking angry, ladies and gentlemen. I shouldn't be. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, it's a pickups video, my first in 3.5 months, quite a while, a bit longer than usual for pickups videos to happen, and the reason for that is because I've not been playing many new games or buying new games, but just purchased one today. I won't be talking about it in this video, of course, and I'm hoping I like it. It's hack and slash action adventure from 2010. Have a guess what it is in the comments section. I won't tell you if you're right anyway. No, I might do. But anyway, today, ladies and gentlemen, we've got 5 games to talk about. 1, 2, 3 on the PS4, interestingly. 1 that I've got on the PS4 and the Xbox One, but I've already spoken about, and you guys know I've got it. And 1 on the Xbox One. And 1, 2 are digital, 3 are physical. So without further ado, let's get into it. I was going to show you guys the cases, but the first one is digital, and I've still not started it, so I've not got much to say about it, but it is Bulletstorm, the full clip edition. Bulletstorm is a first-person shooter. It was released in 2011 on the Xbox 360, PS3, and it got a remastered, kind of touched-up edition. That sounds pretty damn terrible. Jimmy Savile edition, ladies and gentlemen. But no, it got an enhanced edition in 2014, which was released on the PS4 and Xbox One, and it was free on the PlayStation about 3 or 4 months ago. And I thought I'd go for it. Why not? Still not played it, but I'm looking forward to it. And these days, I've got to say it, but I'm more likely to play a game, and I'm more excited to play a game if it was made in the PS3, Xbox 360 era, because there were so many more linear games back then, and games where there wasn't as much padding and this obsession about the open world. But Bulletstorm, you know, it'll be the first-person shooter I've played in, the first-person shooter I've played in a long time. I can't remember the last time I played first-person shooter. I really can't. But looking forward to it. I'm in the mood for a faster-paced FPS game, and it looks really nice. PS4, remastered version, whatever, so we'll see how it goes. And next, ladies and gentlemen, I spoke about this a few times, this game. I think I spoke about it in my Resident Evil 2 hardcore let's play and a few other videos here and there and streams on Twitch. I don't know how it's gotten into the conversation exactly, but probably because it's such a great game. And it's God of War 2018, which I purchased, I think, just before Christmas because it was really, really cheap on the PlayStation Store. And Sony are a bunch of fuckwits, and they do make you wait until the price of the games come down, especially their exclusives. But basically, God of War came down to £25, and I made my purchase. And I've got to admit that I've been buying more digital games in the last 6 months to a year or so. And only this week there were rumours that the next PlayStation and Xbox consoles would be the last console where you get an actual physical console itself, and in the future it's going to be like a cloud-based system and all this. That can go fuck itself, ladies and gentlemen, because what that's going to do, these games now like Fortnite and Apex Legends with the microtransactions and just games that are made and that are free, and then they get millions of people to play them, knowing that that kind of game is what majority of the kiddies want these days. And, you know, if I had a child, my lord, that's terrifying, but there are more important things in life than video games. But for me personally, if I had a child that was like 6 or 7 years old, for example, now, he'd be playing Mega Drive games, he'd be playing the classics, he'd be playing narrative-based games, games with a story, but games with great gameplay, melding those things together. Because it's not about necessarily making games just like movies and there's no gameplay. But for me, I've always liked games with cutscenes and the story and the narrative, and then you make progress and everything. And games like Apex Legends and Fortnite aren't like that. You just get killed, you respawn, you kill, they respawn, you get new skins and all this. It's something that I just don't understand. And I've completely gone off a fucking tangent because this was meant to be about God of War. Well, God of War was a great game. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's possibly the best game I've ever played graphically. And the gameplay was really fun. I played it on normal difficulty and not hard. And I think that was right for me to do. There's a lot of great gameplay and combat to get into with God of War, but I feel like I would have been a bit too frustrated with hard mode. But the second playthrough, of course, I'm going to do it on hard mode. And there's a great upgrade system. His son, I forgot his name now, Kratos' son, Atreus was it? He plays a great role in being very useful, but not so useful that he's overpowered, but not so weak that he does nothing. And there's a lot of great balancing. The story was obviously about mythology and all that. It was complete nonsense, but I enjoyed it. And the game world's beautiful. I wish it was a little bit more linear, but nevertheless, the game world was gorgeous, and the enemies, the variety, absolutely fantastic. And if there is a God of War 2 reboot, if you will, then I will definitely be all over it. But it was so good that I thought to myself, well, I'm going to have to get it physically now. And that is what I was kind of wanting to talk about. I got it digitally, but I felt like I should have got it physically because it was so good. And a lot of the games that I've got digitally, I've been like, okay, I kind of enjoyed it, but I don't want to get it physically. Because as you can see, you know, I have no space for games anymore, guys. I really haven't. If you want to buy some games off me, please say. No, I could really do with just flogging some, to be honest with you. But anyway, I've got some physical games now. The next three, the last three in this video, are all physical. And here's another one that I've not yet played. Well, I have, but only 2 hours. And it is Spyro Reignited Trilogy. And as you can see, it is beaten up. The plastic. Down with plastic! When I was opening, I got a little bit too excited and I completely ripped it apart, which is unfortunate. It's a right mess now. But there's no nostalgic value for me with Spyro, because although I watched a few friends play it back in the day when I was like 8 or 9 years of age, I never played it myself. Now, I've put a couple of hours into the first Spyro game, and it was fun. I've not gone back to it, but there's no reason why I haven't. It's just me being me. But I do want to go back to it. I can't speak of it because there's not much to speak of. I put 2 hours in. It was really, really easy, but just very pleasant, just going round and collecting things and killing the enemies. I feel like it is going to get harder. There was one level or one part of the game where you have to fly, and boy, are the controls not aged well, because although it's obviously a brand new game, it's based off the PS1 classics, and you've got to swoop down, but if you go into the water, it's game over, basically. And I don't think were the controls inverted? No, they can't have been. But there was something else that frustrated me as well, in that particular part. But no, I think there's fun to be had, and hopefully I can get into it and enjoy the experience. But not much to be said, but I wanted to get it regardless. And next, ladies and gentlemen, It is a game which I shared on my Instagram, and I've made a few tweets on Twitter about it, and I haven't completed it. I know, I do it way too often, start games and not complete them. But the game I'm going to show after this game is the reason why. I was enjoying it. I certainly wasn't disliking it, but it definitely wasn't amazing. And it's a much maligned game as well, much spoken about game back in 2014 when it came out, The Order 1886. Now obviously, you know that I wage a war against open world games all the time. And this is as linear as it gets. And this was released in late 2014. And that was like a year after the Xbox One was released. It was 6 months after the PS4 was released. The first couple of games that were released with that technology. And I feel like every single linear game, probably not every single one, but so many linear games that came out with a PS4, Xbox One, 2014-15 at the start of that technology, this generation of gaming, got bad reviews or just not great reviews, and this game got hated on so much. Now, I've plugged in about 6 hours worth, I think, which a lot of people completed it within that time, but I go slow whatever game I'm playing on for the first time. So I wouldn't be able to say where I'm up to exactly, but it's been okay. There's not... The thing is, it's linear, but there's no puzzles, and it's just gameplay, walking, and cutscenes. If you're going to have a linear game, of course, you need to add things to the game experience to keep the player involved. If someone doesn't like linear games, and my lord, most younger gamers these days don't, obviously, then you need to add more to the mix. And I can definitely see that this game didn't. No upgrade system, as far as I remember. And like I say, just nothing going on with the puzzles, or the guns are very simplistic. It tells a kind of alternate reality history of these beasts taking over London. I can't remember the story that much, but it's an interesting cast of characters. The game has a weird kind of wishy-washy effect. Like, it's nice graphically, but Red Dead Redemption 2 did this, and I've spoken about it a few times now, where like grass looks kind of... I can't articulate it properly, but there's something just not quite right. God of War didn't have it. It was so smooth. But, I mean, this game's 5 years old now, and it does look quite nice. It's also got black borders at the top of the bottom, which weren't removed. So I'm pretty damn certain it's still got the black borders. And, of course, my favourite game of this generation, Evil Within, had the black borders as well. And people talked about that was to hide frame rate issues and all this, but then the devs said, oh, it's about a cinematic experience. I don't think we're ever going to see a developer try that trick again, because people just don't like it. For me personally, I'm playing a video game. If I enjoy the game, I'll forget about the black bars. If I'm not enjoying the game, maybe there's more chance that it'll annoy me. I can safely say when I played The Evil Within way back in late 2014, hey, I wasn't a fanboy of the game back then. Watch my my review of it, which was in a pickups video. I gave it an 8 out of 10, and I said I liked it, but I didn't love it. I didn't know that it had become somewhat of an obsession for me, which of course it has done now. But the black bars didn't bother me much at all. So, fuck you if it did. But anyway, you can play that game now without the black bars. Please do. But The Order, should go back and complete it. It was okay, but it certainly wasn't great. And I can understand people feeling shortchanged, because I think it was a full retail price game as well. But last, ladies and gentlemen, is Resident Evil 2 Remake. Right. Video done. Now, I don't need to speak about Resident Evil 2 Remake. I've already done a review of it, and I've already done Leon's hardcore playthrough. So, honestly, I'm not going to say another word. Not because I didn't like the game. You know I'm a huge Resident Evil fan. It's my favourite gaming series of all time. But because I've spoken enough about it already. And in the coming weeks and months, obviously I'm going to do Claire on hardcore. I'm also going to do 2 other videos, hopefully in HD, with my ugly mug on. One, what I want to see, well, hopes, fears and expectations of the Resident Evil 3 remake. And also what I would potentially love to see with the Evil Within 3, whether we get a 3rd game, and what I think we will actually get. But ladies and gentlemen, this is my pickups video, the 13th of April 2019, and I will see you for the next one very soon. And also, a new vinyl pickups video as well, because because I've got some new sweet music to talk about. See you then, guys. Bye bye.